Eufy E20 versus S1 Pro versus S2 Pro. Which Eufy wearable breast pump is best for you and your pumping requirements? Let's take a look because these are all very popular wearable breast pumps put out by Eufy. They have some big similarities. They all have heating component to them, all are app-based. But they also have some big differences, so it can be really confusing to know which one is actually best for your needs. So let's get started talking about suction. Now in suction strength, they are all equal. They are all up to 300 millimeters of mercury suction strength, so very powerful in terms of a wearable breast pump. Now there is a slight difference in terms of suction level, so how strong those pulls feel and how much adjustability you have. With the E20 and the S1, you have 7 different levels that you can choose from, which really is more than enough to give you a good range on finding a level that is comfortable for you. But they have improved that with the newer S2 Pro and increased that to 10 suction levels. Now I do love having more options to choose from, although 7 is more than enough. Having the extra 3, so 10 different adjustability levels, really does help you just fine-tune your pumping experience. Now, in terms of modes on pump, they all have 2 different modes. They have your stimulation mode, which are the short, faster suctions for initiating your letdown. Then they have the deeper, longer pulls in your expression mode for drawing out your breast milk. Within the app, you have a whole pile of customization available to you. Really do love the Eufy app. It is one of my absolute favorite. So within here, the app is pretty much identical for each of the pumps, except for with each pump, there's a few additional features it may or may not have. And if you don't have that feature, it won't show up in the app. But as for this is the S1, you can see in here that you can change your rhythms. You can choose it. This is the same for all the pumps. They have preset rhythms that you can, sorry, my pump's not attached. I'll go into this one. You can change your rhythms. It's identical on all of them. They have 4 preset, or you can come in and create a do-it-yourself and have a play around. The app is all the same. So on the pump itself, they all have the 2 modes, but you have 4 additional professional modes in the app, as well as the option to customize your own. Now, I love that you have the option to also customize your cycle speed. So when we talk about suction strength, that's how strong those pulls are. Suction speed is how fast they are. Some people respond better to faster. Some people respond better to the nice and gentle, slow suctions. Really depends on you and your body. Love that you have the option available in all of the Eufy apps. Now, where they do start to differ, now they all have heating, but the level of heating available is a differentiating factor, especially for the E20. Now, the E20 only has 3 different heating levels. So 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 100 and 107. Really, again, having the heating's a fantastic feature. Having 3 different levels to choose from is a lot better than a lot of the other wearable breast pumps with heating out there on the market. But with your S1 and the S2 Pro, you do have 7 different heating levels to choose from, and they range from the 95 to 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, just giving you that little bit more customization. In terms of additional features, so if I show you the flanges on both of these, the heat sits behind in this pad here, and it's the Eufy heat flow technology. With your new S2 Pro, I should show you actually. So with the S1 and the E20, your heating pad is only at this top half of your flange. With the S2, it is actually a full 360 heating option. So it goes all the way around and around through your nipple. So you are getting a better heating overall with it. So even though they have the same heating levels to choose from with the Eufy S1 and the Eufy S2 Pro, the 7 levels, you are getting more heating distributed with the S2 Pro. Now, you'll notice too with the S2 Pro, it is quite a different design to the E20 and the S1. Now, you'll mostly notice these vibration plates. Now, let me take that off. With these vibration plates, they call it massage. Now, these can go on at the same time as you're heating while you are pumping, and it helps to loosen up the milk in your milk ducts and help with your overall output as well as comfort. Love with these that you can also within the app adjust your patterns. You can adjust the intensity. So depending on what pattern you like, so it can go clockwise, top and bottom, all points at once. You can have it so it goes rotating left to right, all the points. You have options in this to adjust the pattern in which these work. So it's not always on or off. You can change it. You can also change the intensity of how these massage or vibration plates feel, and you can add a timer within the app. Now, just to show you what I mean, if I turn this on, you can see here that these are wriggling in a, turn it on, sorry. They are moving in a pattern. At the moment, they were all on. So this is when they're all on. You can have it so it's 1, 2, 3, 4 in a clockwise, or just the top or just the bottom. So this is a great feature Eufy has brought in specifically with the S2 Pro. Now, while we are talking about this, you'll also notice that it is actually quite a different design to what we have seen with the E20 and the S1 Pro. You have your pump motor sits more centrally, so your weight is a little bit more evenly distributed. I do really like with their flange, it is a clip-in magnetic instead. So one of the things I dislike a little bit about the E20 and the S1 Pro design is with their flange. It is a nice firm silicone, but to get it on to your collection cup, you have to line it up nice and properly and then really lift this lip up and over and then firmly push it on. So this is perfectly fine. There are a lot of wearable breast pumps with this design. What it just can tend to do is if you don't have quite a proper seal and you haven't noticed, you can get air leaks, which leads to a loss of suction. Also, depending on how you use it, it can lead to a bit of damage if it's stretched, leading to maybe needing to replace this a bit more often. But that said, they are very durable. It is really just a little bit more work to put these on than what it is with the simple push in and play option. You'll notice too, though, in the design, whilst the Eufy and the S1, other than the color, they look identical, you have a really nice, clear, transparent design with the new S2 Pro. Where this starts to matter, if you are looking down at your pump while you are pumping, it's really difficult to see where you're at with your pumping session and your milk output with the E20 and the S1 Pro. You almost need to tilt a little bit to see where your milk's at. It's also really hard to get a correct nipple alignment. Now we want, when we are pumping, to have our nipple nice and centrally aligned so it can move in and out nice and freely. Also helps to create this seal around our breast with the flange. So we want to make sure our nipple's nice and centrally aligned so we can have it moving in and out and the pump working how it should be, pulling on our nipple. With the S2 Pro, you can see how easy it is to get an instant gauge where your nipple is at. You can also see and help troubleshoot if it's your flange sizing's off. You can see if it's rubbing a little bit more as well. But what they have also included is a light that comes with your sorry, I've turned this off. With your pump. So you can simply, sorry, I've got to find where I've put that light. It's in the app, it's a bit easier. So you can see here that it has a nipple alignment light that goes on. So this again helps you just to align your nipple, especially at nighttime. If you're new to pumping, it can be a really great feature. You can easily turn it on and off in the app as well. So it's nice and easy to use. What else is different with the flanges? So these are really the biggest differences other than the massage mode. You can see if I have these lined up, you can see that the flange opening on the S2 is a lot wider and it's quite a bit deeper than what you see on the flange tunnel with the Eufy E20 and the S1. They are identical. However, with the S2, they've introduced this new design. I assume it's because it's weighted a little bit different. Your pump motor sits up the top here, whereas with the S2, it's centrally. But what this has changed is if you don't have enough breast tissue to lift up and get your nipple aligned centrally, this is going to be potentially a poor fit for you. So if you're very flat chested, you may find it difficult to get a proper alignment with the S2 Pro. So definitely something to keep in mind. This may not be the best fit for you. You may find, especially if you're small chested or flat chested, that you get a better fit with either the E20 or the S1 Pro. Now, as well, imagine this is in our bra. It's going to sit a lot lower in our bra centrally to our nipple. Now, this means that we're going to rely more on getting a really good, secure fit with our pumping bra to hold this in place versus you get a little bit more leeway with the E20 and the S1 Pro, just given where it sits in your bra. So something to consider, not a huge in terms of bra fit, but definitely something you will need a nice, secure pumping bra because you'll be relying on it more with the S2 Pro. Okay, charging. With your Eufy E20, you have your more traditional USB-C charger. It runs for about 180 minutes before you'll need to recharge your pump. There is no carry case that comes with the E20. With your S1 Pro, you have a rechargeable carry case. I do really love this. You simply place your pump in, make sure it is nice and aligned, and you'll get the flashing light when it needs charging. These are quite charged, so we don't have an issue there. They are USB-C charged with the carry case itself. So you can turn that on, see where you're at with your charging. The pumps can be charged, however, via a magnetic USB charger. So not everybody likes having the magnetics. They simply clips in, but sometimes if you don't have it quite right, they can not be charging if you don't quite have the right alignment or it gets knocked. So not everybody loves having the magnetic. I don't have an issue with it, but just something to keep in mind. And then you have your S2 Pro, which also comes with a hard shell carry case. It's a little bit larger than the S1, but again, it's got the USB-C charger. My case isn't charged. You can see when it's not charged, you'll get a red light flashing. Again, you'll get the light up. These fit in probably a little bit easier to get the connection point because it is at the base. Again, these are a magnetic charger, so something to keep in mind. With the cases, however, the S2 Pro, they have improved the longevity of it. You can get up to 7 days of recharging with this carry case. Now, keep in mind that is based on 3 20-minute pumping sessions a day. So it will last you around 7 hours of charging in comparison to the S1 Pro, which is roughly 5. So they say up to 5 days, and that's based on the 3 times 20-minute pumping sessions. So equivalent around 5 hours, around 7. So that is really great if you are pumping on the go a lot, or you're somebody that just forgets to charge your pump. Having that carry case can be fantastic because you just simply pack your pump away and it will recharge without having to think about it too much. Accessory wise, your E20 comes with very basic accessories. There's a few flange inserts, not much else. You get your rechargeable carry cases with the S1 and the S2 Pro. You also get things like your flange covers, which are great if you aren't using the carry case and you just want to store your pump, make sure it stays nice and clean with the dust cover. You also get a little bit more options in terms of your flange inserts. There's also, so you've got your cables, you've also got like a little cleaning brush and some spare duckbill valves. So you do get a few more accessories as well with the S1 Pro and the S2. Now, I should also mention here with the S1 Pro, if you do not want the carry case, but you want the pump for the extra heating options, opposed to the E20, you can purchase that without the carry case as well. So you can essentially get the E20, the S1, the S1 Pro, or the S2 Pro. Where they all differ is the price point. The E20, as you might imagine, it doesn't have as many features. It is the cheapest of all 3 options. Recommended retail price is $199. Now, please always go check. They go on sale quite often. I'll have the links in description. For Amazon, go check because they're normally a lot cheaper than the recommended retail price. But just so we have a good basis to judge them on, $199. Your S1 Pro is $349 recommended retail price. If you did not want this carry case with it, it drops about $100 off, so sits more around the $240 mark. And then, as you might guess, the most advanced, the newer of the pumps is your S2 Pro, and the recommended retail price is currently around $449. But again, I have seen this quite a bit cheaper than that, so make sure you are checking your prices because it is a big investment. So which one should you choose? Really, it depends on how you are going to use them. I actually think all three of these are really solid investments. If you're only pumping occasionally and you're just looking for a pump with the nice, easy app connectivity, the features that you get with that, and the heating, I really do think the E20 for the price is a really good option. If you are pumping more regularly, even exclusive pumping at work, and you're needing the extra charging capability, then the S1 is really a fantastic choice. It is also my preferred choice if you're somebody that is flat-chested, and also if you're somebody that doesn't like a lot of movement with the massage option. So this can be not for everybody, especially if you're somebody that's got a bit of sensitivity. You may not like having these vibration plates. So something to consider. In that case, if you don't think that's going to be something you like, the S1 Pro is a really solid choice. And then if you're wanting the most advanced with all the features, obviously the S2 Pro is where it's at. You get that 360 heating, you get these vibration massage pads happening, you also get that extra recharge with the carry case. Just be mindful of this flange, but again, it's a lot easier in terms of assembly and potentially durability. So again, a really great new pump that Eufy has brought out. So which one really depends on you and your needs. I hope this video has helped. If you have any questions, please ask and I'll do my best to answer. If you've used any of these three pumps, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Did it work well for you? What you loved, what you didn't like? It really does help other mums make their decisions as well. And if you want more videos like this, then please hit that subscribe. If you're feeling generous, I'd love you to also hit that thumbs up so the content can get seen by more pumping mums. Hope this helps. Cheers.